Hey there, everybody. Welcome to the show. So glad to have you on this beautiful, at least here, beautiful Saturday evening. I'm excited to paint with you yet again this evening. I hope you had a great week and that everything is going great for you. I'm excited to do another flower painting. I don't know why I keep getting drawn to the flowers, but that's what we're doing this evening. So, hope your week went well. I'm going to get my apron on and we will get ready to go. Hey there, Lola. So glad to have you as always. Hope you had a great week. I had a great afternoon. I got a lot done. I went kayaking this afternoon for a few hours, got in a good aggressive workout. I am not the type that hangs out at the gym or is motivated to hang out at the gym, so getting out in nature and doing something active is kind of my MO. So glad to have you as we get started. I don't know why, but again this week my live stream software is not streaming to Facebook and I can't figure out. I'm going to have to get that figured out. But glad to have you all join this evening. All right, let's get kicked in. Let's get started. I don't know what I'm talking about tonight. Exciting things happening in my world. I mentioned that I'm moving in the next few weeks. I will be moving to the Black Hills of South Dakota at the end of May. I am also planning to launch a vlog series about that adventure, which is going to be kind of crazy and a lot of fun. So be on the lookout for that if you're interested in that process. I'm moving to a tiny little town. Finally this week found a place to live. So that's been a crazy challenge, which I'll share more on the vlog about that. That'll be more about the process of moving to the mountains. It will include some of the painting that I'm doing, but it will be more about that adventure. So if you're interested in that, you can join the conversation or subscribe to YouTube and keep up with that. So welcome as everybody's coming in. My live stream is weekly. We paint a new painting every week and it's very informal. Just stop in, chat with us for as long as you'd like. Pop in, pop out, kind of open house style. I'm hoping that once I get up to the mountains, I can set up kind of a studio space and actually have audience, have people come watch. So that'll be interesting as we get started. All right, or as we get transitioned to that space. I have a cool iced glass of tea. I hope you grab your favorite drink and snacks and enjoy the show. All right, tonight we are going to get started on this beautiful painting you see right beside me. Let me put up a reference photo for you all so you can kind of see what I am looking at. And we are going to paint this. My goal for this painting is to get a good start. It won't probably be done just because I have a larger canvas board than I typically do. I think this is like maybe 14 by 18 or 11 by 17 or something. But these were so beautiful and I really wanted to do them large. My goal or my intent is to create the flowers, but I'm going to highlight the light coming in from the top. And so I want to have I want to highlight the light and I want to highlight these and then kind of put this in the shadow so that these will have the light coming across, and then the top of the flowers will be kind of drawing the eye in. And this particular droplet, I really want to kind of have that as the focal point of the painting. I can't decide if I'm going to keep one of these leaves as kind of like the light shining through, or just put them all into the background, but it will develop as it goes. Hey there, Bob G. So glad to have you join us this evening. I hope you're having a beautiful day. It's a perfect day to be out on the deck overlooking the river. Hope you can take some, or you get to look out the window at least. It's a beautiful night. I have my windows open, so you may hear the birds in the background, but I just couldn't keep the windows closed. All right, so what we're going to do, I think I want to start and make sure this side, I want to do sort of like with the, like we have with the reference photo. I want kind of dark background and then the light over on this side so that the flower really stands out. So let's kind of put some of those colors on, and then we'll really focus on getting these flowers in place. All right. Let's do... Hope y'all have a... The river is roaring, not kayak time. Yes, it is. I went out actually on the kayaks this afternoon, but I went up to Little Maumelle River up by Pinnacle Mountain, and it was high, but it was not running super fast. It kind of meanders through the park. So it's actually, it was a good workout. My shoulders are feeling it this evening, so, and my neck, so we'll see. That'll be interesting as I paint above with my shoulders above my we'll see how it works. All right, I don't know, I'm kind of not sure what color I want, so I'm just kind of mixing some things. Okay. All right, I'm doing a very light kind of sort of lavender here. It may not even show on the screen. I guess it shows a little bit. But just kind of put a little color on here, and then we'll do another, just very quickly, and then we'll do another round. Just kind of doing variations of this color and blending them in so that we get kind of a nice transition for this background. We'll probably do darker so the leaves really, or the flowers really stand out, but the first thing is just to see if we can get this covered a little bit. come back, kind of lighten this up on this side, take us back into the just doing broad strokes here. Trying to cover the board as nicely as possible. Whoops. There we go. I think I need I usually have, even though y'all can't see it, I usually sit with a kind of a paint rag on my lap. That way I can wipe my brushes dry and clean. Okay. We want to bring this in a ways. The paint will expand beyond there. Okay, now we kind of have roughly the background in, at least the beginning background. It'll give us an idea of where we're going with this painting. Now I want to take another kind of large brush, and because I didn't do any sketching, I really want to spend some time just blocking in this, the values on this painting with really broad strokes. One of the things that I've been focused on or have been thinking about recently as I watch various different artists is this idea of doing the minimal number of strokes, the minimal number of strokes in the painting to create the effect you want. Often you can do more by doing less when it comes to the detail, by getting the values right, getting the composition right, getting all of those things right. And so that's one thing that I really want to improve, is my ability to get it right, so to speak. And so I want to kind of take some time and want to put in some, I'm going to start with my darkest values, darkening it with that ultramarine blue and a tad of some burnt umber, just to kind of give it some deep dark blue. So let's come in here and start kind of laying in some ideas of where these flowers might be. So now part of me wishes I had drawn some of this, but I also realize, like, it's probably helpful not to get as dependent on drawing as I would normally. We can always adjust. Remember, we can always adjust the adjust this. Let's see. Notice that I'm doing these larger petals much darker than maybe they are on the reference photo. Because I want to have a place to go with the values. So I want to be able to come lighter as we develop the painting. And if I go too dark at the beginning, or if I go too light, then that's one of the key lessons I've learned over the last few months is I would go too bright too fast, and then you get nowhere to go, and I couldn't figure out why the white colors weren't popping, and it's because I had gone too close to white too fast, especially in my landscapes or when you have what's it called? Sunrises, sunsets. And I couldn't figure out what was wrong and why I was having such problems. And it's because I was coming too close to white too fast. And with this, because we want to create an effect of light here at the top of these flowers, we want to bring the values down so that we have somewhere to go, if that makes sense. But we can start to give that effect as we come in here and kind of give some illusion. Notice this is a pretty large brush. There's not a way to do a lot of detail with this. Again, that's intentional. So that I can focus on the various values of the flowers and working on that. We keep honing that, and then all of a sudden the flower emerges. So we'll keep working on this probably for quite a bit. Have a few more people popping in. Welcome to the live stream. Feel free to chat or make comments in the comments wherever you're watching. Right now, I'm just trying to focus on where am I seeing the reflection of the light. Yeah, me too, Lola. I was trying to figure out what to paint today, and these just popped out, and I was like, man, they're just so, if I can get it right, it's going to be really beautiful. So that's the goal. It's just so pretty. I think I have this a little off. I think we'll just fix it. I think the center of the flower needs to come right in there, so we'll just kind of put, this is kind of where I think the center of the flower, we want it to be. Hi there, Carla. Thanks so much for popping in. I hope your week is going well and you are doing well. Just kind of blocking in these flowers, trying to work on value match, which is not a strength of mine, but I'm getting better. This one, I want to put the center of the flower, I think, right in there. Maybe right in there. So we'll just move it around because we can do that. We can do that, right? It's our prerogative. this is, I think, where I want the highest, because I kind of want the eye of the viewer to come into the painting this way and to end here. So I think this is where I want the biggest contrast, is this petal here. So I'm going to do most of my detail and these, the detail work on these petals and the water droplets there, I think, is going to be my focus of the painting. And then over here will be the light, because the light will be coming across the top. So I want to do, but I think I want to bring this flower front and center, not really front and center, but visually front and center, and then this one more still with the same light effect, but more in the shadows. So this is where I'm starting to stretch my own creative skills, because I've gotten used to painting what I see, or painting reference from what I see, and I want to develop a greater ability to modify that at will, modify the reference at will, and truly just use the reference as reference. So that's kind of my intent. I'm going to keep kind of establishing these until I feel like it's where I want, what I want. So center of the flower there. Kind of adjusting this a little bit, this now just really working on the composition, the shapes of the flowers to get them the way I want, because I want to get them as clear as I can before I do any sort of detail or refining. So by sticking with this really kind of large brush, it really tests me and makes me really stay focused on building out the flower instead of doing detail work. And I think I'm gonna choose to take this flower into even darker so that it kind of sits behind the other. We shall see how it all turns out. I wonder if I can maybe lower this enough. I need a little bit better easel, but that's down the road. We can work on that eventually. Okay. After you move, you should try plein air. I bet you will have some view. Yes, I actually am very interested in trying some plein air. It has its own challenges, especially with acrylics, but because they dry so fast. But maybe that's the transition that needs to happen to push me to try oils. But yes, I am going to be in the heart of the national forest. There's within driving distance some beautiful waterfalls. There's beautiful forests. There's all kinds of really inspiring areas to paint. So you're absolutely right, Lola. That's and I'm trying to think of a. It would be hard. I can't really live stream in plein air because obviously no internet, but I want to figure out some ways to do some different. I think I'm going to do at least eventually I want to do at least 2 live streams a week. We'll see how it all plays in real life, cuz the intent is to slow life down and to be able to spend more time with family and my grandmother who's in her 90s. I want to be able to spend time with her, so and make more time to paint. So that's kind of the what I want to do. All right. Lola, have you ever done any plein air painting, or have you tried your hand at that at all? Everyone I've kind of listened to online that says their painting has improved by by doing plein air. So I'm really, and even if I don't end up liking it, I want to try it because you don't know until you try, right? Yeah, I feel you there. That would probably, especially in an environment like the Black Hills, that would be my challenge as well because there's so much I could paint. It's like, how do you dial it down to just focus on one thing? I have no idea. All right. I think we got where we're going there. That's a great suggestion or a great idea. Yeah, kind of taking a picture helps your mind and your eye frame it, doesn't it? All right. Tea break. Delicious iced lavender pear with lemon juice. All right, I'm gonna let these flowers sit for a minute. And actually, I kind of want to step back a little bit from the canvas, look at the composition. Okay, I kind of am okay with the composition, I think. Not thrilled with the values I have laid out, but I can, I think, adjust those. I'm going to let them sit for a minute and dry. What I think I'm going to do now is bring in, start trying to decide if I'm going to do or how I'm going to do the additional background. Just not sure. And it's almost like until you put something on the, until you actually put something on the canvas, it's hard to know. So I think I'm going to do some exploring. And by exploring, I mean putting some greens on, because I want the suggestion of green down there, but I want it pretty dark. I'm wondering if I can get a little, tiny bit of crimson on my palette, because that will give us the cut of the green, or it will cut the green a little bit and diffuse it so it's not dark. This can help us also further define the shape of these flowers. So we'll come in with this. Again, we want to not draw the eye up to the, or we want to draw the eye up to the flowers, so we want to really darken this over here so it just kind of disappears into the kind of light. probably now my thing's working against me. Cause okay. Let's see if I can. Whoops. So we're bringing a little more blue in up here at the top. Blue tone, blue and brown, to kind of give it that dark. And in the reference, you'll notice that the flower stands out against this because it's light up here, but I haven't yet decided how the light is going to fall or if it's just going to blend right in. So we will see. We'll keep going until we see something we like, and if we don't like it, we'll adjust. And over time, my skill at creating what I want will improve, and then I'll be able to wield this a little less haphazardly from the standpoint of just trying different things. So here's another decision. So I really want this to be the brightest spot. So in order to do that, I'm actually going to bring the dark background further over than it is in the reference photo, because I really want the top of this to really stand out. And so one way of doing that is putting something very bright against a darker, obviously, background. So we'll bring this over, bring it in, down in here. We can always paint over this. We'll lighten it up a little bit, but not a whole lot. I have iris blooming in my house. Oh wow, that's amazing. My great grandmother used to have irises, the same, yeah, and it was probably, well, 30 or 40 years ago. And my sister actually has those bulbs now at her house in southern Iowa. Um, and I know exactly those. My grandmother used to have my great grandmother, hybrid irises, those big, huge, beautiful ones, and this purple color with the yellow center and the tips, the gold tips. So, yeah, it's amazing. Okay, so this gives us an idea of where we're going with this. I do like the lighter kind of around here, and the light coming across, and then these, actually I'm going to put hints of green up here just cuz. But yes, we'll darken this and let it just fade in so that the eye really jumps up here. Sometimes you just, like I said, we gotta put something on the canvas before we know that's what we want or that we don't want. Either way. Down here where there's these dark spots, just creating going as dark as I can. Oops. Yeah, we just need to take this corner down to almost complete dark. Somewhere I picked up some white, which isn't cool. Because I don't want the white. No, no, no. Oh, there it goes again. I don't know where. I guess it's in my brush. That's not fun. Maybe when I start working, I need to have two palettes, two plates, one with dark, one with light. Notice something interesting, y'all. Notice how by just changing the background, like the painting starts to become, at least from my estimation, much more interesting. Like darkening this side and lightening the other, all of a sudden, to me, this is a much more interesting painting. I really want to just make this I want points of different colors across so that it gives illusion that there's something happening there. There we go. Okay, I'm really liking this. So I think I'm going to do more of it, except I'm going to get a new brush this time. I may have stayed with a brush too long. Okay. We are an hour in, y'all, and I have not yet changed to a small brush. Again, I'm playing a game here to see how long do I go with the large brush, and what difference does that make in the grand scheme of things. As far as my ability to create this idea. I'm brightening this corner because I liked what was happening here, and so I really want the purple. I want it to look like the purple's really jumping out there, and so I'm brightening up the corner so that it really, then we'll bring in a little more blue and other colors as we go up to blend with the top. But I do like this kind of in here. Then using just a tad of this blending medium to kind of help me blend this in. Oh, I don't like that. Ugh, messed it up. I didn't want that much blue. See if we can fix it a little bit. Warm it up a little bit. Sometimes you mess with it too much. Oh well, can always come back and adjust it. All right, enough monkeying around. Let's see what we can do to create something hopefully beautiful here. So it's that time when I feel like it's just a mess. Every time, it always happens, where it just feels like, ugh, nothing looks right. Or I don't know how I'm going to get this to look right. So we are going to embrace that discomfort, embrace that frustration, and we are going to paint through it. Maybe that'll be my new catchphrase, paint through it. And yeah, let's paint through it. See what happens. Okay, let's take a little bit of burnt sienna. Or not burnt sienna, sorry, yellow ochre. Create the centers of these flowers. I'm mixing the yellow ochre with some blue and some white because the yellow is so translucent. This will give us kind of a greenish brown, but it is hopefully will read in here. We'll read yellow. So let's kind of put this in where we think it's gonna be. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit for y'all. So I know I've been saying for weeks that I want to get different cameras, or get a camera that's better than my cell phone. And I had an old DSLR years ago that I liked to take photos with, and so I have actually hopefully sold it. I sold the lens yesterday, and then I have an offer. Somebody said they want the camera and the zoom lens, and so as that happens, I am going to put that money directly into another camera. So, whoops, I didn't want that green down there. That's not good. So we'll paint over that. Now I think I want to start to hone in on some of the details, not the details, but yes, the details, but the shape of these flowers. So I'm going to take I don't want to get too defined out here on the edge because these petals are out of focus. This isn't a photo. I mean, the reference is, but the painting is not a photo. It is a painting. And so I want the shapes to be right. I want the values to be right. But I want the petals themselves not to be super defined, because the most detail again is going to be that top corner. So we'll just keep And the thing is, if we get the values right here, down at the bottom, when we put the detail up here, this will be suggested, and so even though it's not there, we will see detail that's just suggested. At least that's the intent. So if we get the shape correct, start to put in some makes me wonder. If we warm this up with a little Hey there. Welcome, welcome. All right, y'all. So what I'm doing here, I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'm taking some, we'll see how it renders. I'm taking blue and mixing a little orange and brown in the form of yellow ochre and burnt umber into it, because that will tone down the blues and purples and give us the contrast, but it will still then look like it is in the shadows over here, because we want interest over here, but I don't want to distract. So I'm trying to figure out this balance to... Back when I started, I would have just added white. And then I couldn't figure out why the colors just weren't working. What I have learned is you go opposite of the color wheel to basically desaturate the core color, and that will still give you, it will look like it's blue, it's just not as bright, or purple, or whatever. Now, what I have to figure out is how to blend all of this in a way that actually reads for the eye correctly. And so all of this is experimentation right now. Let's, trying to figure out how we get this to work. And again, we just keep playing with it until it shows up the way we want it to. But the more you play the game, the better you get at the game, right? So that is the intent. To play the game again and again and again. Different settings until you can play the game quite effortlessly. we do more and more layers and more detail as we go. Thank you. Yes, I need to do that, don't I? I need to take that step back. Let's do it. Let's do it. Upon Lola's recommendation. Step back. Take a look. All right. It's a good foundation, huh? Good foundation. I think it's gonna take a little more. Can y'all, I don't know if y'all can see this, but can you see the difference in saturation from this flower? It's more grayish, and then the brighter saturations are on this one. I need to take out some of this. So these are grayish blues, and then this purple blue, I need to heighten the saturation, and the light's not really good for this, but that will help us to draw the eye over here where we really want people to pay attention to. So gotta just keep playing around with how this renders and how it shows up. It's that time of night, apparently. Happens every weekend, doesn't it? Where we have we have some emergency vehicles going by with their sirens blaring. And these are called pansies. These flowers are called pansies. They're a common spring flower. They come in a variety of different colors. All right, y'all, we are coming to the end here. Well, the end for now. I am going to continue working because I am determined to improve this. And so I'm going to let it dry completely. And I'm going to keep working on it over the next, hopefully, week. But probably not because, you know, moving and all the things that come with that, the busyness that comes with that. But it's definitely one I want to continue working on to improve, because I think there's a lot of things I still have to learn from this painting. So I will continue working on this, and I think adding additional layers will absolutely help. Just more layers and building up the contrast that way. But we shall see. Right now, it still looks kind of a mess, but see how it's getting there with a little detail work. You can start to see this coming out. I need to work on the background some more, but you can start to see it come out as an actual flower. This is how I felt, that was similar to how the we were with the peppers a few weeks ago, and those actually turned out really nicely once we got to work on them. So I know that this is the same deal. We just got to keep working and working and working. Sometimes it helps to leave overnight or a couple of days and then come back and see things you didn't see at the time. And so that's kind of my intention as I work on this, is to come back in a few days and really see what I didn't see the first time, or what I maybe didn't have time to focus on. But it's always fun for me to get a challenge that is not perfectly easy, that is not an easy duplication. Forces me to really work, and that's fun to me. Wondering if I'm extending this too far, this petal, but I don't think so. These things just suck me in, and I want to keep going all night, even though well, it's just time to stop, and my back and neck are telling me it's time to stop. So, and my clock just told me it's time to stop. So we are going to, I promise, I'm going to wrap this up. Just want to put a couple of shadows in here. So helpful to start to see the definition of these things. So we have to fix this, but it gives us an idea. Okay. This big ol' petal is popping out. Okay, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I promise. I promise. I promise. Promise, promise, promise. Okay. So, I want to say thank you for joining me yet again for another paint party live stream. We will continue doing these for the next couple of weeks, and then we will have a break the week of the 22nd, I think. That's when, no, the week of the 28th, 28, 29, right in there, Memorial Day weekend. We will take a break because I will be moving and I'll be driving cross country. And then in those next few weeks, we may do impromptu, live streams, because I will be traveling again cross country to the West Coast to my niece's graduation. And so a couple of those days I'll be on the road, and then once I get settled, I'll decide whether we're going to continue doing these on Saturday night. Probably not, because as people start socializing again, Saturday night's going to be a time for friends and family. And so we may do a day of, in the week, some evening, a relaxation, maybe hump day, so maybe a Wednesday or Thursday in the evening, and then I'll probably do a daytime one as well, but not sure. We'll see how that all plays out. So I encourage you to subscribe and follow me on YouTube if you do not already. In the next week or two, I'm going to release the first vlog video of the big adventure moving to the mountains. So if you're interested in following my story, you can do that there. It's also going to be on YouTube, so you can see those videos. Those will be short informal vlog style videos. So again, thank you for joining me. I hope I didn't clap right into your ears on the microphone. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you sticking with me this evening. I hope you have a great week, and we will see you next time on the weekly Paint Party live stream. See you next week.